You're watching News 13, your news station in Panama City.
This Sunday, the U.S. takes on an old enemy on the soccer field. Why two stranded climbers on North America's tallest mountain still are waiting to be rescued. And the Pope visits a country where the church is plagued by scandal and crisis.
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight, Sunday.
Good evening. I'm Deborah Roberts in for Carol Simpson. America went down to defeat today against an old enemy, Iran. But everyone walks away from this battle friends. It was Iran 2, the U.S. 1 at the end of this afternoon's World Cup soccer match in Lyon, France. The game was as important to diplomats in the two capitals as it was to fans on the field. We begin with ABC's John Frankel in Lyon.
No different than other matches in this World Cup, 3 hours before game time, it was a charged and emotional scene.
This is the beginning of a new opening between the Iranian and the American people.
Security was tight. Police were searching for politically sensitive material, flags or placards, which are not allowed in any stadium during this tournament. Today, there was no sign of trouble. Today's images contrasted with those of 20 years ago, when 52 Americans were held hostage in Tehran.
We can't forget about it, can we? We have to remember and learn from the past. I would like to learn from the past, not let it happen again, ever again.
Americans were outnumbered, but not silent.
I'm in the military. There's just a lot of talk between the politicians. What happens on the field is the game, and that's what we're all here for.
The anticipated mood of animosity between Iranians and Americans was not evident before the game. In fact, the friendly gestures only suggested the appreciation of this game for the sake of soccer and not politics. But politics entered into some of the ceremony. The American and Iranian players met halfway for the pregame handshake. And in addition to individual team photos, for the first time in World Cup history, the two teams stood together for a picture. Although the Americans dominated play and threatened often, they failed to convert on several scoring opportunities. In the second half, the Americans committed themselves to an all-out assault, but to no avail. Iran scored again to lead 2-0. Finally, the U.S. did get a goal. Too little, too late. The Iranians' prayers were answered. They won this battle, a soccer game. John Frankel, ABC News, Lyon.
And ABC's Gillian Findley is in Iran tonight. Just a few moments ago, she filed a report from a very excited capital city.
It is an amazing scene here tonight. People have just come into the streets by the thousands. They're honking their horns, they're hanging out of their cars, they're passing out flowers. This victory means so much to this country. In one way, they say it means it gives them respect after 20 years. The fact they went against America, the great Satan, as this country is known here, has put them over the moon. Now, the question, of course, is what the authorities are going to do about all of this, because they were very clear going into this. They did not want people on the streets. Police were unenforced. News crews like ours were not being allowed to film freely. We were not being allowed to broadcast our material freely. So far, the people seem to be defying the authorities. We'll see what happens next. Deborah?
ABC's Gillian Findley reporting from Tehran tonight. In other World Cup news, there was violence again today, this time before and after Germany's match against Yugoslavia in Lens, France. The fighting between German fans and French police left one police officer in a coma. At least 50 people were arrested. Back here at home, Monica Lewinsky is reportedly offering prosecutors a new deal. Today's Washington Post reports that she's willing to admit under oath that she had sex with President Clinton. But as ABC's Carla Davis reports, that may not be enough for independent counsel Kenneth Starr.
It appears to be the first trial balloon floated by Monica Lewinsky's new legal team. Lewinsky's offer to testify that she had sex with the president, as reported by the Washington Post, may signal she is willing to give independent counsel Kenneth Starr at least part of what he wants.
The odds are that an agreement will be reached for one simple reason. She needs it. I mean, she is in considerable jeopardy. At some point in this process, she lied.
This reported offer does not appear to include testimony that Lewinsky was encouraged by the president or his friend Vernon Jordan to lie about the alleged affair.
Ken Starr apparently believes that a sexual act or misstatements about it are not enough, that he needs to find evidence of an obstruction, and that she's adamant in saying that didn't happen.
Starr has been looking for information about whether the White House, through Lewinsky, was trying to influence testimony from her one-time friend Linda Tripp. So once again, this list of talking points becomes central in determining if there was obstruction of justice.
If all we have is two people's versions of what happened and nothing about obstruction, then I think we don't have a federal interest in this case.
In the meantime, the president is adding nothing to his January denial when he said he did not have sex with Monica Lewinsky.
Still, a private investigator is looking into Lewinsky's past. The president's attorneys want to be prepared in case she strikes a deal, and the one-time intern turned star witness. Carla Davis, ABC News, the White House.
Nearly 70,000 people who tried to buy a handgun last year were told no sale. The government released the latest statistics today. 2.6 million people applied to buy a handgun last year. Because of the background checks now required under the Brady law, 69,000 of them, some 3%, were rejected, in most cases because of a felony conviction. Beginning in November, background checks will be required for all firearms, not just handguns. Just ahead tonight on World News Sunday, still no resolution in the ongoing GM strike. And was life really all that simple for Ozzie and Harriet?
This is World News Tonight, Sunday. Brought to you by Comfort Inns and Suites.
Hey, the front desk gave me this coupon book.
Oh, great. I don't want to go to Monkey World. I don't want to go to the Dental Museum.
Really? How about SeaWorld? How about the Hard Rock Cafe? Check into any Comfort Inn or Comfort Suites and get Comfort coupons.
Don't toy with us, please.
Over $1,000 in discounts on stuff you really want. Theme parks, movies, airline tickets.
So now we can afford another 2 weeks?
Kids stay free and you get the coupon book. It's more than a room, it's comfort.
My mama always said, you'd be surprised how much you can get done. If it's all got to get done, that means keeping an eye on things. So I wondered about snacks cooked in that new fat-free cooking oil called Olean. I found out the Crisco folks came up with it, starting from crops to grow here, like soybeans. The chips taste real good, have a lot less fat and fewer calories. You know a good thing when you see one.
New fat-free Olean, a good place to start.
Do rich people have more friends than the rest of us? Are they more deserving of a comfortable seat? Are they more entitled to brake safely on a rainy day? Are we the only car company that doesn't think so? Century by Buick, full of amenities for under $20,000, loaded for under $24,000. Century by Buick, a luxury car for everyone.
Those climbers are still stranded on Mount McKinley in Alaska tonight. Brutal weather is hampering rescue efforts. 4 members of the original team made it back to a base camp, but 2 other members are trapped higher up. ABC's Lisa Salters has the latest.
The 2 British climbers are stranded at 19,000 feet atop Alaska's Mount McKinley. Both are members of the Princess of Wales Royal Regiment 1st Battalion and were on a climbing expedition.
They've been up there since Thursday, late Thursday night, and we've had no communications with them. We believe one is an injured climber and one is an uninjured climber.
Rescuers have been battling severe weather conditions all weekend, trying to reach the climbers. But for now, blinding snow, gusting winds, and temperatures of 30 below have put all rescue operations on hold.
There's a major weather system that has everything stocked in from 13,000 feet and below.
Since 1932, 91 climbers have died on Mount McKinley, 3 so far this year. The hiking route, known as the Orient Express, is described as a treacherous trail. Falls of thousands of feet are not uncommon for climbers. Though the 2 British climbers appear to have survived their falls, they must now fight off Mother Nature, long enough to give rescuers a chance to save them. Lisa Salters, ABC News.
2 survivors from yesterday's fatal bus crash in Pennsylvania remain hospitalized tonight, one of them in critical condition. Investigators today examined the tractor-trailer that was hit by the Greyhound bus. 7 people died in that crash. More than half the counties in Florida are still fighting fires today. Because of the smoke, the elderly and the ill are being warned to stay indoors. The fires have been burning since Memorial Day. More than 67,000 acres have now burned, and more than 100 homes and businesses have been damaged. Still no resolution tonight between General Motors and striking United Auto Workers. Talks ended again today without an agreement. That's bad news to the thousands of workers across the country who have been idle since the workers in Flint, Michigan walked off the job on June 5th. ABC's Jim Williams reports.
For some striking GM workers, Father's Day was spent on the picket lines as they have walked for more than 2 weeks in Flint, Michigan. Joe Townsend was here with his son-in-law and grandchildren.
My father worked in General Motors. I worked in General Motors. Someday I'd like to see these kids be able to have a job here in America.
While Townsend wonders when the strike will end, the UAW is beginning its convention in Las Vegas. Union leaders will make no apologies for strikes that have left more than 100,000 GM employees out of work.
That we are fighting, they fight, and we need to hang in there.
UAW leaders will try to convince their members to hang tough, since they ultimately believe GM will give in. The company, they say, cannot continue to lose hundreds of millions of dollars caused by the near collapse of its entire North American operation. But that message is becoming more difficult for Moraine, Ohio to embrace. This town of 6,000 has lost its economic engine. The GM plant here was shut down 2 weeks ago after it ran out of parts produced by the workers on strike in Flint.
And without GM, we don't have much going on. And if they don't have the money, Moraine doesn't have much money.
The tables at Debbie Miller's Upper Deck Cafe are empty these days. The restaurant is across the street from the GM plant and depends on its workers for business. So does Moraine's mayor, who also owns a store here.
Our store right now is down between $700 and $800 a day, so it's affecting me quite a much.
In Moraine, there are hopes the strikes will end soon. At stake is the future of one American business giant and the future of one small town. Jim Williams, ABC News.
Coming up, the latest controversy in the Middle East.
Hello?
Morning, Daddy.
Hi, honey.
Ready for your presentation?
Actually, Daddy's a little nervous.
We know just what you need.
Room service? You ordered me room service?
2 scoops ahead. You're gonna be 2 scoops ahead.
Nothing prepares you for a big day like the hearty goodness of 2 scoops, only from Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Ready now, Daddy?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran will start you 2 scoops ahead.
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling with your wife. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
My best friend stands by me night and day.
Introducing new savory recipes from Hill Science Diet with the great taste of fresh chicken, lamb, and select ocean fish.
Whoa, whoa, my best friend.
What vets feed their pets.
I got rid of my gray hair in just 5 minutes, and I love the natural highlights and shine.
Now there's revolutionary Just 5, the only 5-minute hair color for women that gently blends away gray in 5 minutes without changing your natural color, while extra conditioners leave hair soft and shiny.
Beautiful hair in just 5 minutes.
Just 5, the only 5-minute hair color for women.
What laxative do I use to relieve constipation? To get back to normal, I get back to nature with Nature's Remedy, the laxative with gentle, all-natural active ingredients that work overnight. For constipation, try Nature's gentle laxative, Nature's Remedy.
Pope John Paul went straight to the heart of problems plaguing his church this weekend. He visited Austria, where the Catholic Church is losing members and fighting scandal. But as ABC's Richard Gisbert reports, some say the Pope avoided the real issues.
It was a colorful welcome for John Paul in Vienna's Heroes Square, one that helped illustrate the scope of the Catholic Church's problems here. The crowd numbered around 50,000, and that's the same number of Austrians that leave the church every year. The Catholic Church in Austria is facing a crisis, and the one issue that many Catholics wanted to hear about today, the Pope ignored.
He didn't say anything about the case about Cardinal Grohr, so he couldn't help and he didn't help neither the bishops nor the Catholic people in this country.
Cardinal Hans Hermann Gruer is accused of pedophilia, sexually abusing young Austrian seminary students over a 20-year period. The church has apologized for what happened, but only after years of ignoring the accusation, and even promoting Gruer before finally sending him into exile 2 months ago. Father Udo Fischer says he was one of Cardinal Gruer's young victims. He suggests the reason the Pope failed to mention the case at today's Mass has something to do with the Austrian character. I think Austria could learn from America, which is much more open about these things, he says. The Pope apparently hasn't got the message from our people. Now he goes home thinking he's just left a blessed place, and we're left stuck in a swamp. John Paul beatified 3 Austrians today, bringing them within 1 step of sainthood. But the crowd was smaller than the last time the Pope came here. Whether the numbers are down because of anger over the Gruer case or apathy towards this visit is academic, because both those emotions, anger and apathy, represent dangers for the Catholic Church. Richard Gisbert, ABC News, London.
Israel today defied the United States and angered Palestinians by adopting a plan that would extend the boundaries of Jerusalem. Palestinians say it increases the Jewish majority in the capital. And as ABC's Clay Scott reports, they see that as a threat.
Israel's cabinet was unanimous in its decision. Jerusalem must be expanded. The controversial plan would extend authority over several Jewish settlements on the West Bank, a move Palestinians say would effectively annex part of the West Bank to Jerusalem. U.S. officials were not pleased with the decision, which comes at a very sensitive time in Mideast peace talks.
I've said this many times, that unilateral acts of any kind at this point do not help.
But Israel's prime minister brushed off that criticism, calling it a tempest in a teapot.
We're perfectly in line with our rights as a state, with our rights in Jerusalem.
Netanyahu insists the plan will benefit all residents of the city. Not so, say Palestinians. They view any change to the status of Jerusalem as a threat. This latest move only increases Palestinian fears that Israel is trying to annex Arab land.
It is telling the Palestinians and the world, we are taking over Jerusalem. What can you do? You are crippled, you are weak, you are cornered, and there is no peace process.
The peace process has been at a standstill for over a year. Among the many issues yet to be resolved, the future status of Jerusalem is perhaps the most emotional for both Israelis and Palestinians. Today's cabinet decision seems certain to push the resolution of that issue even further into the future. Clay Scott, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Still ahead tonight, trying to figure out just how many Americans there are.
My girls were in an accident. I called Prudential. Good afternoon, Prudential. They told me what to do.
Do an estimate of the damages.
It was just wonderful.
And then begin immediate repair.
I can authorize a rental vehicle for you. I have gotten other quotes from other insurance companies. I'm calling about the accident you reported today. They really can't compare. We'll do what we need to do to get this resolved as quickly as possible. You're all set.
Thanks for calling Prudential.
I've found a good company and I'm staying with them.
Why does Tums control acid faster than Pepsid AC? Because they work on your stomach acid in totally different ways. Tums Calcium naturally rapidly neutralizes acid so it works fast. Pepsid AC's famotidine has to travel through your bloodstream, so it takes at least 40 minutes to block natural acid production. So why does Tums work on acid faster and cost less, and Pepsid AC works slower and costs more?
Good question.
Of the many innovative products we've brought you over the years, there's none that touches your life every day more than this. Introducing the new Smart Water System from GE. Our monitor filtration system produces fresher, better-tasting water, while our digital softening system makes the water softer, clothes cleaner and brighter. The incredible new Smart Water System for the whole home. Only GE.
Thanks, Dad.
You can't do this with Caravan.
Thanks.
You can't do it with Windstar.
Thanks, Pop.
A little help? Only the Chevy Venture is available with a remote control sliding side door. It's the perfect accessory for the overworked father. Now choose low 1.9% APR financing or $1,500 cash back on Chevy Venture. See your dealer today. Chevy Venture. Let's go.
Census takers are out this weekend in California testing a new method for counting people. Turns out the last census missed an estimated 4 million Americans. Supporters say this new method would do a better job, but as ABC's Bob Woodruff reports, not everyone thinks it's a good idea.
Can I have everybody's attention?
In Sacramento this weekend, the Census Bureau is testing the new controversial method of counting Americans called statistical sampling. While 90% of the population will be counted in the traditional way through the mail and door-to-door, the other 10% will be counted by the new method, very sophisticated polling. The president backs the method. He says it's cheaper and more accurate. Republicans have filed a lawsuit charging that it is unconstitutional.
On their own, without the approval of Congress, they want to change it, and you say, we're so smart in Washington, we got these big fancy computers, we're going to start guesstimating on population.
To understand this controversy, you need to know that the census is about a lot more than just counting heads. In Washington, it's about power and money.
The census is used to determine the number of representatives for each state in Congress. Most of the people missing from the last census were from the inner cities, Democratic strongholds. This new method would count them, and that could give Democrats more seats in the House. The Democrat who oversees the census admits this is as much about politics as science.
There's no doubt that politics is involved here. Politics by virtue of the fact that you're talking about reapportionment, which if you're a member of Congress or desire to be a member of Congress, these are important issues.
The census will also determine who gets about $200 billion in federal money. States with more people generally get more aid. But with Congress split on just how to count, this fight will most likely be decided by the Supreme Court this fall. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Washington.
The former general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Al Campanis, died today. Campanis was fired from the Dodgers in 1987 after he made racially insensitive remarks during an appearance on Nightline. Campanis, who was 81, died of heart disease. When we come back, a new look at one of America's favorite families.
Commercial artist. Ballet mother. Dog owner. Antique collector. Minivan driver? I don't think so. These are the new Buicks. Practical enough for the way you live. Stylish enough for who you are. The new Buicks. Real power. Real comfort. Real style. Isn't it time for a real car?
Denture wearers, look who's starring for Polident. Me, Florence Henderson. Just smell all that mint. Polident fights denture odor while it cleans tough stains. Take a tip from Florence. Get minty fresh Polident to fight denture odor every day.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. 1 capsule daily can provide complete 24-hour heartburn relief because it controls acid for 24 hours. 24 hours. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Call to learn more. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the most prescribed acid control medicine in America, Prilosec.
This week on Good Morning America, Major League Baseball takes a swing at prostate cancer. Plus Friday, GMA's live from the Hamptons.
On Good Morning America.
The boy who would be king turned 16 years old today. It's Prince William's first birthday since his mother, Princess Diana, died in a car crash last August. William seems to have become a somewhat reluctant teen heartthrob. He says he sometimes finds it difficult dealing with the adulation of teenage girls. A big weekend at the box office for the movie version of The X-Files. It took in an estimated $31 million in its first 3 days to take over the top spot. Mulan opened at number 2, and The Truman Show slipped from first to third. Finally tonight, on this Father's Day, a look at one of America's favorite television families, the Nelsons. Ozzie and Harriet and sons Ricky and David were also a family in real life. Tonight, they'll be the focus of a 2-hour program, and it appears life for the Nelsons might not have been as simple as it seemed. Here's ABC's Mark Mullen.
Here they are, America's favorite family, the Nelsons.
On TV, it was the fantasy family of the 50s. Ozzie Nelson lounging around the house, and Harriet in an apron usually near the kitchen, with sons David and Ricky, whose arguments always had humor.
I'm getting pretty strong, boy.
That's a laugh. It seemed a gentler time in America. Sitcoms like Father Knows Best and The Donna Reed Show depicted a white picket fence life.
The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet is the longest-running family sitcom in the history of television. It looms in the consciousness of America to this day because this was the Nelsons playing the Nelsons. And people who lived through that period really thought what they were seeing was real.
But the reality was different.
There's a huge discrepancy between what was real and what people think was real about the Nelson family and about the people involved.
Tonight's A&E biography shows us Ozzie Nelson, the savvy businessman who produced, directed, and acted in the TV show. And Ozzie Nelson, the perfectionist, who stopped his sons in real life from going to college so they could continue acting on the program. Harriet Nelson was more complicated than her TV image. She liked a stiff drink and off-colored jokes. And there was Rick Nelson, who became TV's first teen idol. He was not always comfortable with his role, struggling with it until his death in a plane crash in 1985.
In a way, because he didn't get to have that childhood, because he was performing as a child on television, later on, he really couldn't embrace all the responsibilities of adulthood.
If family members felt trapped by their TV persona, it may be because the show blurred the line between fiction and reality. The Nelsons' home on the television show was a replica of their Hollywood home, and the boys grew up with all of America watching. For most of us, the struggle with family life is all too real. And now in hindsight, we see that it was that way for the Nelsons, too. A strangely comforting thought. Mark Mullen, ABC News, New York.
That's our report for tonight. Now here's Good Morning America's Kevin Newman with a preview.
This week, Oklahoma City bombing jurors reunite with members of the victims' families to remember. Plus, we'll preview the re-release of Gone with the Wind with one of its original stars, Olivia de Havilland, and show you a program where violent kids seem to really get help.
That's tomorrow morning. I'm Deborah Roberts. To all of you dads out there, happy Father's Day. And from all of us here at ABC News, good night.
Tonight, a shocking murder. A silent witness.
He's autistic.
A young woman will do anything to protect her brother.
I want to take care of him. I want to help him.
Liv Tyler, Richard Dreyfuss, Linda Hamilton, and John Lithgow. The network television premiere, Silent Fall, ABC tonight. Parental discretion advised.
I'd like to speak with a producer by the name of, please.
Mr. is not available right now. Can I take a message?
Okay, so we're just asking about maybe putting a warning label on movies that glamorize smoking. You know, something like the makers of this film couldn't think of anything in a way to make their characters cool or sexy or rebellious or rockin'. So instead, they'll just smoke.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you know what? I've got another call, so I'm going to go, but I will let them know that Truth called, and we'll do my best to get him the message.
How's the message go again?
Okay, you know what? I got to go.
News 13 provides closed captioning at 6 and 10. Brought to you in part by Gulf Coast Eye Clinic, providing comprehensive medical and surgical eye care for Bay County since 1973. And by Bay Credit Union. If you work in Bay County, you can join Bay Credit Union.
We're heading back to Texas. You're going to teach me how to do it? Two-stepping with Patrick Swayze. Jamming with John Travolta. Preaching with Robert Duvall.
If anybody messes with Oprah.
Plus Celine Dion's Titanic hit. Monday's Oprah.
You're watching News 13, your news station in Panama City. Television.
March 19th, 1957. A hungry accountant is inspired to create a better way for TV viewers to eat.
Next, It's a Wonderful World of Disney's